Most of us don't like to analyze and plan our income and expenses. It can be very tedious. However, keeping track of them is the easiest way to have a good financial health. To simplify this process and make it easier, I bring you this video about the 50-30-20 rule. The main thing is to divide our monthly income into different percentages, which are as follows: 50% to cover basic needs, 30% for discretionary spending, and the remaining 20% to save. For this, we will use the net income, which is what we get when we subtract taxes from the gross income. Within the 50% for basic needs, we consider the following. Most of this percentage will be used to pay for housing, rent, or mortgage, but expenses such as buying new or luxurious furniture are not considered. Next are the basic food expenses, not including eating out at restaurants or establishments. Utilities, such as paying electricity, water, gas, internet, or other bills. Health or education expenses, and transportation expenses, whether public, taxis, or financing our car. To comply with this 50% of our minimum wage is very complicated, but it is still important to be able to develop the following parts that we will see now and that will help us to increase our income, which will gradually stop being so difficult. Let's continue with the 30% of the income for expendable needs. Here we will cover any other type of personal expenses that are not wants or status maintenance, such as recreation, which can be going out to restaurants or bars, trips we want to take, expenses for clothes or compliments, and gym, beauty, or other. The main thing is to know how to distinguish our basic needs from our wants, because many people fall into this trap and confuse them, which leads us to make bad financial decisions. Now, the last 20% of your income is destined to savings, investments, and debt payments. It is recommended that this income be set aside and withdrawn on the first day it is received to avoid spending it unnecessarily. This can be used for an emergency reserve, which is recommended to cover 6 to 12 months of your expenses. Then there is the payment of consumer debt, which should be your priority before investing in other things. Once you have a safety fund and your debts are paid off, the next thing to do is to invest so that the money starts earning interest for you. Here you could also save for your retirement or short-term goals. You could get more than 20%, but with that percentage of your income you would already be in a better financial situation than the vast majority of the population. Let's take a practical example. Suppose your net monthly income is $2,000. According to the rule, you could distribute it as follows. Essentials, 50% $1,000 of the total. $600 for rent or mortgage, $150 for utilities, $150 for transportation, and $100 for insurance. Spendings, 30% $600 of the total. Recreation, $150, clothing $150, travel $200, and entertainment subscriptions $100. Savings or debt repayment, 20% $400 of total. Savings for emergencies $200, and repayment of outstanding debts or investments $200. While these amounts may not apply to you, you can adjust these percentages to suit your needs. For example, if you pay a much higher rent or mortgage or have a lower income, you may need to allocate 60% instead of 50% and reduce 10% in another category. But it is important to find this balance. I'll give you some quick tips on how to successfully follow this rule. Adjust your basic needs to your purchasing power to avoid exceeding the ideal percentage. Make sure you do not dip into your savings account if you have an unexpected expense one month. If you use it to acquire assets, you could increase your income so you do not have to do it again. Set a time period to manage and review your finances. Monthly or quarterly, you may need to adjust again.